How many of you have ever gone to the mall excited to shop and excited to try new clothes on, only to feel defeated and leave frustrated? If you're petite, I know you've been there, and it happens to me too. As a matter of fact, it happened to me just this past weekend. We have a brand new Aritzia store in one of our malls, and I went. I was so excited to try things on, see what they had new for fall, and I had that exact experience. But I turned it around, and it was a good reminder to myself and now to you guys that there are ways to shop smarter, even when the store doesn't carry petites. So today I'm going to show you what didn't work, what did, and then share the strategies I used with you so that you can save time and stress the next time you shop in store. And stay to the end because I'm answering 2 viewer questions that were in the comments at the end, so stick around for that and let's get into it. So here's a quick look at the frustration of the pieces that I tried and that didn't work and were ultimately a fail. So very first off, the Effortless pant. If you're familiar with Aritzia, you know about this pant. It is one of their most popular style of pants. So they had these in the short length, and guess what? They were too long and they puddled the floor. Very disappointing. Then I tried on a pair of Citizen of Humanity jeans and also a pair of Levi's jeans. I knew that these would probably be too long, but I wanted to see how the fit was everywhere else. These were also a disappointment. And then I saw this beautiful army green trench coat. I grabbed the smallest size that they had and in hopes that it would work, but ultimately it was overwhelming. It was too big, just overall. But here's how I turned it around, because let's face it, the reality is that most stores, even if they have petite online, do not carry or carry very few, if any, petite sizes in the store. So since Aritzia's short length trouser did not work for me, I looked for a cropped version and they had this one in store. A cropped trouser on a petite becomes the perfect full length, and it gives you that polished look without having to head straight to the tailor. So here is an example of that pant. It is the Effortless cropped pant, perfect full length. This one is a high waist trouser, but the inseam length is 25.5 inches, which for me at 5 feet tall with a 25-inch inseam is perfection. So this one works really well to wear with flats, sneakers, or a small heel. After that, I started scouring the store for cropped style sweaters, cropped style tops, cropped coats, cropped jackets, anything that I could find in that cropped style. These types of tops are a win for petites because they hit at the top of the hips, not dragging down below your hips. And unless you're shopping in the junior section, cropped styles are not going to be what, belly bearing styles. These are just going to be a shorter version of something that would otherwise most likely be too long on you and I. So a great example of some of those items are this crop style cashmere cardigan in this beautiful red color. Their cashmere is really luxe. It's soft, it's beautiful, and they have a lot of different colors to choose from. I also tried on a short sleeve cashmere sweater in this really beautiful pale pink color. Again, the fit is near perfection. It hits me right at the top of the hips. And then I also found this beautiful, it's a fisherman style cardigan with the beautiful buttons on it and the collar. This one is really perfect for petites as well. The sleeves are a little bit too long. That is not a deal breaker for me. I know it is for some of you, but those are some of the trade-offs that I'm okay making in order to find things that fit. Since that trench coat did not work out, I started looking to see what crop style jackets and coats that they had, and I came to this beautiful bomber jacket in this faux leather. This one, I love the way it's very proportioned for petites. Again, the sleeves are a little long on this one, so that's a decision, personally that you'll have to make, the trade-off or not, depending on how you feel about a sleeve being too long. But all of these pieces that I found that worked on a petite frame can really end up being workhorses in your closet and skip you some of the frustration of shopping in store. All right, before we go on to a couple more tips, I have a question for all of you. When I was at the mall, which I don't go very often, the one thing I can never resist, because I feel like I can smell it as soon as I walk in the mall, is anti PM's pretzels. That smell of a pretzel, I cannot resist, and I absolutely had to go get one, which I did. And it just reminds me of hanging out with my friends in high school, because that's what we did. We hung out at the mall. So I'm curious for you guys, is there a food, or wherever their little food courts are, what is the food at the mall that you cannot resist? Let me know down in the comments. All right, so let's sum this up before we move on. So the things you can do when you're shopping in store to avoid that overwhelm and that frustration when you can't find any petite sizes, head straight for any cropped item, tops, pants, jackets. You want to avoid anything oversized unless you're ready to visit a tailor immediately after. And don't rule out tailoring, and I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. But go in with a plan. Know that most likely regular pants are not going to fit, a petite frame. Look for a cropped version. Focus on knits and sweaters and cropped style jackets, because these are most likely to work. Let's cover tailoring real quick, because it is always an option, but it's not always worth it. So I would say classic trousers, blazers, and coats sometimes are the pieces that might be worth tailoring. You don't want to tailor anything that's an oversized knit or anything that's cheap. Those things are not worth it. Most likely you can find something much better. But if they're classic trousers or a blazer that is going to be in your closet year after year, those are worth the money to tailor, to have them fit your body perfectly. Another tip that I use and I want to share with you, and some of you probably already do this, is go in store to get the inspiration. Even though so many of those stores carry petite sizes online, they rarely have them in the store, and the variety is just basically nothing. So go in, get inspiration, feel the fabric, even try them on in a regular size, see how the fabrics feel, how the colors are, and then go home and order it online, or the store can actually order these for you and have it shipped to your home. So that's a great way to get inspiration without getting frustrated. So something that I noticed while I was at the mall, because I visited several different stores, this is worth noting. So we know that burgundy and chocolate browns are everywhere this fall season. It's very trending and a color that's everywhere. There are two colors that I didn't realize were such a trend until I went to the mall, and that is some bright blue hues and various shades of blue, but very bright blue colors. And then also this yellowish, greenish chartreuse color. Every single store that I went to, front-facing table had sweaters of these colors in every single store that I went to. Those two colors were everywhere, and even in suede. I found this suede handbag in this beautiful blue color. These colors are trending big. They are not my colors. I don't love a bright royal blue or that really chartreusey type color, but they were everywhere. And I'm curious if you guys have seen this, and if you have any, especially that chartreuse color. That one threw me a little bit. I don't really like that yellowy kind of green color, but it was everywhere. So it's worth noting that that is very popular. All of this to say, there are some tips and strategies to use when shopping in store, but most importantly, you're not alone. It happens to every single one of us. All right, so now let's move on. I had two questions in my comments that I wanted to address while we're here. And one of them was, somebody asked me to share how I care for leather and suede materials, especially since suede is such a big hot trend. Actually has been for a few years now. What I use, and I have to credit my friend Serena at Style with Serena, she recommended this to me. It is Apple brand Guard. It's for leather and fabric, and I have used this on my suede bag. So you might remember this bag from a video or two ago where I mentioned that I was going to treat it, and this is what I used on it. Very easy to use. This does not discolor. The suede did not discolor whatsoever. I took it outside, I sprayed it 8 inches away, covering the whole bag just like the instructions said. I waited 30 minutes, did it again, and it is beautiful. Did not discolor it and works very well. It also works on fabric, so I highly recommend for your suede, your leathers, your fabric. And thank you to Serena who recommended it to me. I had another viewer ask in the comments on my shoe video that I did a few weeks ago, and I'll link both of these videos if you haven't seen them. But in the shoe video, I talked a lot about sneakers and how I preferred to either hide my laces or use a no tie shoelace. Someone asked me which ones my favorite were, and I always use lock laces. So this is a running shoe. I do not wear these, with regular everyday outfits. These are for exercising, but these lock laces are fantastic. They're adjustable, they're very comfortable, the laces are stretchy, and they work incredibly well. I have used these lock laces in my exercise shoes probably for at least 15 years. They are fantastic, and they come in a million different colors. So that's where you can get kind of some fun in with your sneakers by choosing some bright laces like this. Now for your fashion sneakers, I use these same brand. They're lock laces, but these are called their flat lock laces. These work in a similar way. The laces that they come with are very stretchy, so it helps to kind of give your foot some room if you need to adjust them. I've even used the existing lace on some of my sneakers and just used the little fastener, the little clip that it comes with. And what it does is you just clip it on, you put your foot in the shoe before you adjust anything. Get the laces and everything to what is comfortable for you. Then you slide that little clasp on and secure it, and then snip off the end of the lace. It just makes it very easy to tuck that little bit of lace that's hanging out in the end inside your shoe, and then you have that very nice polished no lace look. So I'm going to link the lock laces, both the flat ones and the ones for your exercise sneakers, and the suede and leather fabric care, along with all of the other things that I showed in this video, in all of the usual places. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite food is from the mall. I know I can't be the only one. And speaking of that sneaker video, I'm going to leave it here for you to watch next. I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you choose to subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye everybody.